Hi guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today I'll be bringing you the books I would like to get to this fall. So I've never done a video quite like this before. I have my September TBRs, my October and November TBRs, but I thought I'd just compile all my TBR into this video right here. So let's get started with the video. The first book I have to show you today is the book that I'm currently reading, which is It by Stephen King. I am currently on page 374 of this book. And while at first I didn't really mesh well with the story, like right now I'm fully invested in the story because it finally got to the part where we're finally introduced to the kids in this story, which, is a lot for 374 pages. And what I mean by introduced to the kids in this story, it's just like all of them finally became the Losers Club in page 374. So I'm excited to see where the dynamic goes from here, even though I've watched the miniseries and have watched the movie, and I love them both to death. I can't wait to see what happens in this book. And yes, I do know a lot of spoilers for this book, but still, knowing something and actually seeing it are two different things. And right now I have a lot of mixed opinions about it, but I don't have a lot of mixed opinions about Stephen King. Like, I follow him on Twitter, and I love his Twitter feed so much. Like, Stephen King's tweets are like life right now, guys. I just love them so much. Another reason why I love this author right here is because he writes the books for a lot of my favorite movies, and I love Stephen King movies, so I can imagine that I would love Stephen King books just as well. And he's also one of my dad's favorite authors. So I'm excited to start getting into Stephen King. Right now I'm starting with It, but if you guys have a suggestion for another Stephen King novel that you just absolutely love and adore that you want me to read, just comment down below and let me know what your favorite Stephen King novel is, because I really want to read more Stephen King, but he has so much writing material out there that I don't know where to start besides It, because it's one of my favorite childhood movies that I watched as a child, surprisingly, and twisted enough, like, I remember this movie, me as a child, it legitimately scared me. And this is actually my favorite horror movie to date. The new one is. The old one I watched the other day, I wasn't really in love with the old one. I thought the best part of the old one was Tim Curry, honestly, but I love the cast of characters in this. I love Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. I love all the Losers Club. I hate the bullies, though, which you should hate the bullies, but they're very fleshed out bullies, in my opinion. They're very nasty, and they're what bullies nowadays would feel like. But, oh my god, Stephen King has such a way of writing, and I'm gonna put this down. Now before this video turns into a Stephen King gush. But if you guys want to read this along with me, I highly suggest it. I don't know when I'll be done with the book, but I'm definitely setting a goal for myself to get 100 pages done in a week. I know for some that's like a very small goal, but for me, and with how busy my schedule is nowadays, I think it's a perfect reading amount. That way I don't get too overwhelmed with this book. But definitely this one. This is definitely on the agenda for reading this month. So the next book I have here, after I get done with the long, exhausting book that is It'll definitely be worth it. A lot of people, including my husband, say that this book is worth the read. And I hope they're right. But after It, I'm gonna go with a more shorter novel to read, because I'll probably be in the hugest reading slump ever after reading It. So the next book I have would be The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina, I think her name is. Now I've seen this going around BookTube a lot, and the premise really sounds interesting to me. So from what I get from the premise, this is about a couple that goes to a dinner party one night and leaves their baby at home, and then when they come back from the party, they figure out that their baby has been kidnapped, and it's all about what really happened that night. So I don't know what's gonna happen in this book. It's such a short mystery book, and I'm used to mystery books being long unless they're all R.L. Stine mystery books, and those are actually really good mystery/horror books. So I think this one might be good, and it'll definitely be a more faster paced read for me. Especially with the font. The font is like huge in this book, so it'll be fast, paced, and just what I need after finishing it. I need smaller books in my life after that. So the next book I'm planning on reading in the fall months is The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. Now, here's a fascinating thing for a lot of people. I have actually never once read a V.E. Schwab book or Victoria Schwab book. She goes by both pen names. Victoria Schwab is her young adult pen name, while V.E. Schwab is her adult writer name. And this book is actually a book that drew me in based on the fact that it's about monsters. Monsters, like a guy that doesn't want to be a monster and a girl who would do anything to be a monster. But here's the catch in this one. They're not love interests in this story. They're just two people that have this mission together that don't have to fall in love, and that's cool. So this is a book with no romance, I heard, and usually I don't really pick up books with no romance, but I'm kind of like really sick of romance lately for whatever reason, so I think this is just straight up my alley right here, and I can't wait to get to it. I'm trying to put it back on my bookshelf so I don't have like the hugest mess ever. So the next book I have here is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, which is the first book in the Grisha trilogy. I don't really know how to sum up the Grisha trilogy. I know it's a really good trilogy from what I've heard about it. I know the last book disappoints people, and so far it's an okay book. Right now I'm on chapter 2 of this. Just because I tried a chapter in the earlier months when I was reading it. I might reread chapter 1 because I don't remember a lot about it, nor do I remember a lot about the plot synopsis. Like, I had this book for about 2 years on my shelf, guys. I think it's time to read this book. Because I don't know what I'm missing with this book, and I hear the first 2 are good. I heard the third one is kind of shitty, but that's okay. Finales, to me, are really shitty. Like, it's like they can't get finales right anymore, so there's that one. Next one I have here is another book that I've been putting off reading for I don't know why I put off reading this. I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it. I gave it 7 out of 10 stars, but I really need to get to Rebel Springs by Morgan Rhodes. I read Falling Kingdoms last year, I believe. It was either last year or 2 years ago, and I really need to get to Rebel Springs. Right now, I'm on chapter 7 of this book. I'm not hating it, but it's a lot less action-packed to me than the first book was. It just seems like there's nothing really that interesting that's happening in this book right now. It personally might change for me, but right now it's kind of a boring story to me on a personal level. So let's hope it starts to get interesting, or else this book is gonna go on my shit radar for whatever reason. So the next book I have here is a more book that actually Stephen King actually blurbed this book, so that's why I actually picked up this book. book because whenever Stephen King says that it's totally original, hypnotic, and scary, of course I pick it up. I'm a simple girl. Stephen King recommends it. I pick it up. I like. So the next one I'm planning on reading is You by Carolyn Kepnes. And I actually know what this one is about. This one follows a guy named Joe. He works in a bookshop, and then one day this girl named Beck goes into his bookshop, and Joe starts to form this obsession with Beck. And this book is basically about stalking. So I've never really read a book from the stalker's point of view, and I really want to read Hidden Bodies also, but it's from the same character as You. So I've been kind of spoiled for this book, but I still want to read it because I'm very intrigued. It might be something that I would look forward to. So the next book I just have to get to. I hear nothing but good things about this series, but I heard a lot of nothing but great things about Throne of Glass, and I hated that book. But I don't know what it is about this book that I just can't get into. I think I'm on page 42 of it right now, and that's Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I don't know what is it about me and high fantasy. I guess I have to really be in the mood for high fantasy, and I've been trying to read this one. I haven't been in the mood, and now I'm in the mood for high fantasy and horror and all that good stuff because it's fall and it's just the time where I want to be inside and curl up with a good book. So Truthwitch will probably be on this list of books that I'm gonna read for that one. So the next one I have here is another very hyped book, and that's A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. The reason why I got lured to this book is because it tells a tale of a guy named Cal that could travel through parallel universes of London. I think there's 4 different parallel universes of London that he could travel through. And it just sounds like a really interesting concept. Not sure if this book is really through my alley, but I'm trying to actually breach out of my comfort zone lately, and this is an adult novel. If some of you didn't know, I made a promise to myself to try to read more adult novels, and so far, I've read more than I was ever planned to if I didn't make that promise to myself to try to read more adult novels. But this one's an adult novel that definitely piques my interest, so let's see how it does. So the next one, I'm not sure if it's new adult or young adults, but that's The Walled City by Ryan Graudin. Now, I tried to read Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Graudin. I wasn't sure how to feel about it. I'm still trying to read it. But this one, it seemed I love the cover for this one, and it just seems so much more fallish to me than Wolf by Wolf does. So I'm planning on reading The Walled City before I read Wolf by Wolf. But comment down below and let me know if you guys think I should read Wolf by Wolf. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll definitely pick up The Walled City because it really sounds more interesting to me. For whatever reason. The next one I have here is actually a book that's been sitting on my shelf for 3 or 4 years that I just need to get to, guys. It needs to happen, and I need to finish The Retribution of Mara Dyer. This is the 3rd and final book in the Mara Dyer series. I think the reason why I put it down because it was kind of boring to me and really depressing, and I just wasn't in the mood to read it. And once I put it down, I just didn't pick it back up. So I need to pick this one back up, and I need to finish out the series so I could say I completed this series. I think I was halfway through the book actually when I put it down. I was on chapter 23 of this book, guys, when I put it down. So I don't know what made me put it down. I think I thought it was dragging on, way too long. If you guys know what I'm talking about. I think this could have been wrapped up in the 2nd book, honestly. I think if it was a duology, it would have kicked ass more. But we'll see when it happens. The next book I have here is The Girl of Fire and Thorn by Rae Carson. Carson, I heard that this is a very diverse book, and I wanted to read more diverse reads this year, and, you know, princesses and princes are really up my alley when it comes to fall time, so I really hope I like this one. When the next book is a classic book that I usually read for fall, and it's very short, and that's Sleepy Hollow by it doesn't really say who it's by. I think it's just a short story. Oh yeah, by Washington Irving. And as you could see, it's a really short book, so I think this will be a perfect, fast-paced Halloween read for me. And it gets me so excited just talking about it, because Sleepy Hollow is one of my favorite Halloween tales that I love to read during Halloween, which is, like, there's two traditions that I like reading during Halloween. One is Sleepy Hollow. Well, actually, three. One, Sleepy Hollow. Two is the Grimm's Brothers fairy tales. And three is Edgar Allan Poe poems. My favorite one is The Mask of the Red Death. Because it surprised me a lot in school. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but I definitely liked the concept of that poem. And the poem itself, what it was about, really shocked me. But Sleepy Hollow is definitely one of my favorite ones to pick up. So I'm definitely gonna do that for a reread. Next one I have here is the second book in the Red Queen series, which is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I need to get on this jump back on the series, because King's Cage, which is the last book in the series, came out like forever ago, and I still haven't read Glass Sword. I guess I'm just not in the mood for Mare and her boy drama with two princes to really care at the moment, but we'll see. I'll try to read this book, I'll really try. Next is another really try, because I hated the Daughter of Smoke and Bones trilogy by Laini Taylor, but I thought I'd give her another chance because I didn't really like Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. In fact, I really fucking hated that book, not gonna lie. Selena Sawyer-Doffey is probably one of the worst characters I've ever read. But, you know, I did love Sarah J Maas's Court of Thorns and Roses series. I liked that one. So I thought, why not give Laini Taylor another chance? And I figured Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor would be the perfect fall read. And this guy actually works in a library, and I'm intrigued by reading about characters that actually have love for books and work in libraries. So, I don't know a lot about this book. I'm gonna go into this book blind. All I know is that the guy's a librarian, and this cover is, like, awesome and shiny, and I just love it. Next book I have here is another book that I'm amazed, I think this is a common theme here. I'm amazed that I haven't read some of these books. So the next book I have for you here, you guys, is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I definitely want to get to this one. It's a heist story, and I love stories about criminals basically in Halloween season and fall season. So I think this one will definitely be up my alley. I don't know why I haven't started. I guess I'm just intimidated to finally join the fandom of this book. I'm in a lot of different fandoms, but Six of Crows really sounds really cool, like a really cool story, and I love this cover, and I love these pages, and I love the redness of the book. I wonder if I even love this book naked. Even the spine is gorgeous in the book. This is a very gorgeous book. And I have seen Crooked Kingdom too, and I love the red pages. So these will definitely look amazing on my shelves, even if I don't like the duology. So the next book I have for you guys here is A Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I haven't seen the movie, nor have I read the book. And this is a murder mystery type novel. novel that's very jumbled up and has an unreliable protagonist, I've heard. And I like unreliable protagonists because you actually had to figure out what's wrong with them. And I love trying to figure out what's wrong with unreliable protagonists. It's such an interesting concept, and I don't like books with very, like, black or white characters. I like morally gray characters. That's what I say about that. Next one is like a huge blurbed book that is also like 800 and something pages, and it's gonna take me forever to read. But that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I've heard nothing but good things about this series, and it's definitely worth the huge book. And I've seen this I've heard this compared to Harry Potter, like the adult version of Harry Potter, so that intrigues me. So I really hope it's good. I don't know. We'll see. Next book, I actually DNF'd, but I'm bringing it back. I'm gonna try to read the rest of Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I don't know why. I think I put this book down because I totally saw where it was going with her sister and other stuff. I put this book down because it looked like her sister's love interest was gonna be this main protagonist's love interest, and I don't really go for sisters stealing other sisters' boyfriends. I know you guys are going like, Sarah, that's so hypocritical. You love Damon and Elena, and didn't Damon steal Steven's girl? Why are you such a hypocrite with this? I don't know why. I guess it's because I have a sister, and I don't have I have a brother-in-law. I have brothers-in-laws, actually. I have 4 brothers now. So that was a trip going from only having 1 sister to 4 brothers. 4 brothers, and however many sisters I have now, I think I also have 4 sisters. But sheesh. It's a lot of extended family right there. But I don't know what it was about it that just really irked me about it. I thought it was that, but maybe not. Maybe it's just very slow paced, and I like my circus stories to be very whimsical, and it's not something I haven't read before. Like, I didn't think it's not an interesting concept and whatnot. But I'll give this book another chance and see if I was just in a really bad mood when I read it. So the next book I have here is actually one I got from Something Wicked This Way Comes Outcrate, and that's The Hearts We Sold by Emily Lloyd Jones. This one has a very unique premise to it, and I can't wait to get to this one because it's basically about a girl who sells her soul to the devil in exchange for not feeling anything at all. And I know a lot of us who wish we could do that. I know I've wanted to do it quite a few times, but I am in a very good place now. I was in a bad place when I wanted to do that, but I'm in a very good place now, so I think I'll keep my soul. So I'm intrigued by this one. So the next one, of course, is a classic, one that I love reading in the fall, and that's The Grimm's Brothers Fairy Tales by, of course, the Grimm's Brothers. It has a complete collection of all their fairy tales in it. I love the golden pages. I love the spine of it. I just love the overall look of this book. Like, you can't see it, but this book is, like, gorgeous. And it's something I like to read almost every year for Halloween and fall. So I can't wait to get to it. It's actually even my favorite thing to read during Christmas, too. So there's that. So I like actually trying to read Rick Riordan books in the month of fall. So I'm gonna try to read the Hidden Oracle and the Trials of Apollo series. I know what you guys are saying. You have to read Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus to get to this one first. It really helps not spoil it. But truth be told, I don't really like Percy Jackson the Heroes of Olympus series. I've tried reading it. It's like really boring to me for whatever reason. I don't know. I just didn't mesh well with the character of Percy. Like, I like him in every other book. I liked Annabeth in the Magnus Chase series, which we'll get to here in a minute. But I think his other series are more up my alley right now because he's seeming to start writing for a more extensive audience. Like, middle graders could still read these series, but it's got something for young adults and adults to even enjoy. Like, it's a fun for all ages story, I like to call it. So the next one I have, also by Rick Riordan, is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, the Hammer of Thor. This is the second book in the Magnus Chase series, and I need to get my pretty little head into reading this because it's been so long since I've read Magnus Chase and Sword of Summer, and I enjoyed that book. Like, I hated it the first half, and then I got really interested in the second half. So we'll see where this goes. I had a love-hate relationship with the first one. So the next book I have for you here is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Sapia. Now, this is more of a contemporary story where this girl writes webcomics. And this is more my lighthearted read for the fall season in case I want to reach for a contemporary as well. So we'll see how this one turns out. So last but not least, the last book that I'm planning on reading in the month of fall is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I think the only thing that makes me furious about this book is that Amazon literally sent it to me like this. Like, could you guys see the waterlogging? Yeah, I didn't do that. That package came in like that. And it made me really upset. But luckily for me, it didn't ruin a lot of the reading material, so I could still read it. I mean, it'll probably smell a little funky, but books are books. So we'll see how I appreciate this series. But there you guys have it. That was the books that I'm planning on reading this fall. Comment down below and let me know what books you're planning on reading this fall. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!